I think it's time for some Christmas lists, am I right? Hello guys, here is Emmanuel from DiceTuga, and Sinterklaas and Christmas are just around the corner. And for those of you who don't know who Sinterklaas is someone very important for Belgian and Dutch kids. I don't know if it's celebrated anywhere else in the world. It might be. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. But I'm sure it is not celebrated in Portugal. So parents like me, preparing for the gift lists of our kids, are looking for solutions. And you might be a parent like me that is tiring of those toys that make a lot of noise, don't bring any intellectual to your kid, they don't learn anything with it. So you might consider to offer them a board game. They already spend a lot of time in front of screens, and board games for me, or puzzles or Legos, are good solutions for kids to develop their motor abilities, their patience, and other skills that they might need later in life. Which is why I'm doing this top 10 list of games to play with your kids, so that you might get some of them during this Christmas. I don't know if you will still catch any Black Friday deals. I don't think so. This will not come out during Black Friday. But most of them are inexpensive and they will have a lot of fun. So this is a video for that, to give you proposals on games that you can play with your kids. And play with your kids might be different, might be different from game to game. You might have games that you really play with your kids, and you might have games where you play and your kids find fun enough to roll the dice or to draft some cards and watch you playing, because it might be a story-based game and they will be having fun by just watching you. But instead of watching you playing PlayStation or Xbox or Switch or PC, they are watching you playing a board game. So that's also a solution. And it's good that it's a solution, because this is my number 11. The proposition that I have is my number 11, because it's an honorable mention. It's the only game in this list that my daughter doesn't really play with me, but she's like drafting cards or moving pieces around. She has some participation in the game, but I do the most thing, and I explain to her the story, and I explain to her my thoughts on how we are going to move forward. And the game that I have is Lord of the Rings Journeys in the Middle-earth. I have here one of the expansion box, because no way I'm going to take the big box, because it's just too heavy, everything in it is in it. But yeah, also there's Gandalf on this one, so of course I had to take the one with Gandalf. And Journeys in the Middle-earth is a dungeon crawler. It's app assisted, and that helps as well for the immersion, because there is music, there is effects, and the map builds up also in the app, which allows them to also see, nice. And you might say, but you're telling about reducing the screen time, but you have a game that is app assisted. The time that you look at the app is pretty much almost zero, not zero, but it's very little. The app is just there to help you on tracking the life of the bad guys, the life of the heroes, and so on. So, and this is basically a dungeon crawler where you're going to be building up as you discover the map, and you have some quests, and you'll be fighting trolls, orcs, bad people, Nazguls and stuff. So it's really, if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings like I am and my daughter is, yes, she already watched the 3 movies and she's only 5 years old. I'm sorry, we are not perfect, but she loves it, so I'm proud. And she also loves this game, but she cannot play it by herself or as a second player. I have to do everything and she just watched. So this is a nice recommendation if you want to have some time for you. You have fun and they have fun by looking at you. So yeah, now we go for the top 10 list, and it's hard to say which one is her favorite or not. I don't think she for now has that favoritism, so I kind of building this list based on the amount of times that we played a certain game and by the time I know that when I mention a certain game, she gets excited. So that's how this list is built, but these are all very good options depending on the age of your kids that you can have. So my number 10 is Andor Junior. So there's the Legends of Andor, the other one I never played, but I heard it's also very good. And this is the Andor Junior. So you basically are going on a quest. The one that we played, we need to save some wolves or something like that. And so the thing about this game is that she can participate because I'll read the cards, but she knows, okay, she already starts to build the best path possible for her to avoid encountering too much monsters and to be able to achieve the goal as fast as possible. We only played the first scenario, so that's why my memory is not, but I know that we have fun, but she was 3.5, and this game is recommended for 7. But I think that now she's 5 years old. She doesn't know how to read, so you might have to do the reading yourself if your kid doesn't know. But it's good for them to already see, okay, I want to get there. What way is the best possible? How can I make this the best way possible to avoid encounters and to be able to rescue the wolf? So this is my number 10, Legends of Andor Junior. It's a very good one from the Veer. Then my number 9 is a game that when it came out, I was like, this is perfect because it allows to develop their creative side because they are able to draw their own character before going into the adventure. And yes, I'm talking of Chronicles of Aval. There's a new expansion slide second game that came out this year. I didn't get it yet because we didn't fully explore yet Chronicles of Aval. We played it 3 times. And yeah, you have the capacity, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but zoom, yeah, there you go. You have the capacity to paint your hero before you go into the adventure. So that's why it develops their creative side. After the game itself, you are going to be placing the different hexagons along the way until you achieve a certain area or the time. There's a certain time that you will achieve and there's an invasion of a monster or something like that, and you need to be able to fight it and to destroy before it gets to the castle. So it kind of creates a little bit of stress in the second part of the game that they are like, oh, I'm scared, okay, I'm going to roll the dice. They roll the dice, they get excited. Yes, I got two attacks or 1 defense. And the rolling of the dice, you can see their excitement on it. I mean, and it's very cool to see that on a 4-year-old kid. So Chronicles of Aval is my number 9. Then my number 8 is a game that I already got when she was like 2.5, 3. And you'll notice that I will be talking most of the times of my oldest because my youngest, she pretty much destroys the games instead of playing. Her way of playing games is to destroy them. Nonetheless, there's a game here that she plays and she's very, very patient and attentive to it, but we'll get there. But this one, and actually I should play this one now with my youngest, this one is a game that I bought because it would help my daughter on her motor skill, on her patience, on her patience on placing things on top of each other and not be frustrated if it falls. Which was the case. If it falls in the beginning, she would cry, she would be very annoyed, and by the end, when she played this more times, she finds it funny. She's like, oh well, we'll restart again. And that's what I wanted to work on her with this, and it's Rhino Hero Super Battle. Basically, you are going to be building, here you can see, you are going to be building a building, and you are going to be you are drafting cards. You see in the cards that you draft where you need to place the walls. And so you are going to be placed the walls and it's going to get bigger and bigger. And there will be situations where, well, if you are not careful enough, it will all crumble. And that's the fun part. And in the beginning, my daughter was taking it very, very seriously. But yeah, it was on purpose. I wanted her to be able to place it very carefully because she's very active and she has difficult to be quiet and stop in a certain place. And this would allow her to be patient on placing those walls, and it worked. So Rhino Hero, it's a lot of fun, even for adults. You can play this game. This is a game that is recommended. Where is the recommendation? 5 to 99 years. That's what's written here. 5 to 99 years. So, for sure, it's as well for adults. And so this was 10, 9, 8, 7. My number 6 is a game, it's a travel game, a game that I got in Portugal in a board game store. Yeah, it was introduced to me, to my girlfriend. We thought this would be a nice game for us to take on our holidays because it's a relative small box. But I tried to play it with my daughter, and she actually understood the game. This game is a game from Eagle Griffin Games, and you'll be very surprised because this is not a Lacerda or any other complex game. This is recommended from age 7+. This is Buried Treasure. And yeah, some of you might not know this one. I didn't know, never heard about this game, but it's a card game, very small. You really actually almost don't need the box, because basically the game is this, and you have some tokens, so you can easily take this with you because the other part of the box has nothing, just the rule book. And basically you are going to be collecting some kind of not treasure, they call it sweet, or something like that. And you are going to be drafting cards, and so there's different colors. And depending on the round that you are, each color will have a certain value in terms of points. And so after the first round, you are going to do another card, and so on and so on. So you are going to be trying to draft the cards that gives you the most points. It seems simple, but it's not, because you are always checking, if I take this one, that one will take that amount of cards and it will score more points. So to play this with her, it was for her difficult in the beginning because she only wanted to get, for example, the most blue cards, but the most blue cards would be worth, for example, 2 in that round. And I wanted her to understand that it's not always having a lot that matters, but having good ones, so quality over quantity. And she started to understood, and the third time we played, she already started to be more strategic on the way that she's drafting the cards. So it's very nice to see them realize those things, you know. So Buried Treasure, it's another one that I recommend. So we are entering in the number 5. Number 5 is a game that I got. It's from a Portuguese designer. And I got it not only because it was Portuguese designer, but it has math in it. And by just having those two, you guys already know which game I'm talking about. Certainly the Portuguese people. I'm talking about Hercules. Hercules is a great game to play with your kids. This is designed by Fabio Lima, and it's from 1 to 4 players. The recommendation is 8 years plus. Of course, I never follow the recommendations of age. I think they don't matter as long as your kid, every kid is different. Your kid might be able to play, mine might not be. It's not because they are dumb or something, it's just because they are used or not to board games. And this one is great because the reason I got it was because of the math. My daughter, she's only 5, she's still learning, she doesn't know how to read, to write, she knows how to count, and this would help her to figure out, like, doing these basic calculations: 1 + 1, 2 × 2, 4 divided by 2, 2 - 1, and stuff like that. And you are going to be trying to achieve a certain goal and collect all the cubes in your line. But in order to do that, you'll have to do those calculations. The thing that I want to kind of bring awareness is that this has math in it. And it works very well, because it's not like you are doing the math like, oh, okay, 2 × 8, oh my God, how much is that? No, you're having fun because you are looking at your cubes in the path and you're like, okay, I need to achieve 10. How can I achieve 10? I can do 5 + 5. But I have also a 2, maybe I can do 2 × 5. So you are like thinking on which calculation you are going to do, which operation you are going to do to achieve the goal that you want, and it's not only like doing math. Okay, this is not just. So this is a good recommendation if you want to introduce your kids to mathematics and for them to have fun. So Hercules from Fabio Lima and published by Mibo Games. Number four was a surprise to me. And even though my daughter, she beat me on some of the other games that we just talked, in this one she beat me twice. So I was never good at, I never really tested my qualities in chess. So I have no idea if I'm good or not. I beat my girlfriend pretty much all the time that we played chess, but she also never played chess, so that's it. And this game is similar to chess with a twist. It has less pieces, and it has some cards that defines the movements that you can do. We are talking, of course, about Onitama. And Onitama is a two-player game, and you can play, and this is the fun part. That's how you see how this can be misleading. This is the age recommendation of this one is 14 plus. I played this the first time with my daughter now, like a month ago and she is 5. And she understood everything of the game. The first time she lost, the second, the third, she won. I have no idea. She won. So basically you have 3 cards, each player has a color. I don't think, yeah, there is here. So you have a board, each player has a card, and then those cards are going to be rotating. So there is only 3 cards per game. And the cards that you get on your side are the position where you can move your pieces. So you might have a card that allows you to move only diagonal, another piece that allows you to move in front or to the back. You know, it's not that every piece, like in chess, has a specific movement. No, the movement is defined by the cards. So yeah, this is also a good one for them to see, okay, the card that is coming, I can do this movement. So now I'm not able to take that piece from him, but maybe in the next turn, by doing that movement, I will be able to take it. And that's what you develop. So Onitama, forget about the 14 plus. For me, that's, sorry, I'm not going to say a bad word because this might be watched by kids, but forget about the age recommendation. It's not always true. Onitama, just get it. The next game is a game that I was very surprised that she enjoyed that much. Every time I mention this game, or better, if I ask her, which game do you want to play? She always says the bike game. And the bike game is Flamme Rouge. I was very surprised that she enjoyed this game that much. She loves the fact that there is the small bike man, you know, like the riders. So you have the miniatures, the men are on the bike. And she not only likes to move them around, but with the cards, I thought, okay, she's always going to choose the biggest one. And so she's always going to play the biggest one. And indeed, by playing the biggest one, you get more resistance cards that are not good for you. But you also, in the beginning, you might progress way faster in the track and be first. So of course, the first time she played like that and she lost. I was like, well, this is fun for me because I'm able to play a game that I like, which is Flamme Rouge, and she will also be able to play, but she'll probably lose all the time. Well, I was wrong, because she started noticing that the fact of keeping the higher cards maybe more to the end might be more interesting. There's a very good balance on who wins or loses most of the time. If I look at BG stats, it's like kind of almost 50% on each side. And I was very surprised because this is a game, again, that the recommendation is, where is it? 8 plus. It's not as aggressive, but 8 plus. So what is Flamme Rouge? Basically, you are controlling 2 runners, the sprinter and the runner. And each player has 2 of them, and each player has two stacks of cards. One for the rider, one for the sprinter. And in each turn, we are going to play cards. and you are going to be moving up on the track, so on the race. And if you are the first one and there is nobody in front of you, you get a resistance card, which is a card with a very low value that allows you to advance very little. Those cards might be affecting more your game when you have to reshuffle all of your discard cards and play again. Because those cards don't allow you to move. So that's why risking to be in front in the beginning, well, it's a risk. Because you might collect some of those cards. And basically the winner is the one that finishes in first at the end of the game. That's easy to explain to them. They just need to play cards and that's it. So in the first game you can explain, you know what, you just need to play cards, look at the cards, choose which one you want, you play that card, that's the amount of movement that you have to do. And that's it. And they will be into it. And if you like bikes, I don't, but I love this game. So this is definitely not a game for people that just like bike races, which I don't, I find it boring. Top 3 now. My top 3 was a game that I bought in one, I think I bought in one Belgian board game store because it was their build-up, so I could physically see how the game looks like. And I found that it could be an interesting game for my stressful daughter, which is the oldest one, because this is a real-time game. This is Dodo. So basically, if we look here, you have a mountain, and on the top of the mountain there is the bird, Dodo, that had an egg, and the egg is going down the mountain. But you need to be fast enough to build a path so that the egg falls into the path and goes safely around the mountain until your boat. To build the path, you are going to be rolling dice, having to collect some tokens that match the icon on the dice, and that is very stressful because you roll the dice. I have a rope. Okay, where is the rope? No, it's not here. It's not here. You need to also work with your memory because every time you need to turn around the token, and you have to. Okay, where did I see a rope last time? So it's very stressful because while you are thinking about that, the ball is going down, and if you are not fast enough, you lose the game. And so this is very funny to see her like panicking and stressing. Sometimes she would even like, Daddy, help me, start crying. And it's good because they work also on their emotion and work on being like, okay, I need to be patient. Let me turn this calmly. If it falls, I repeat. And that was a very nice one. So Dodo, this is published by Cosmos and it's recommended 6 to 99 years old. So she was still young. She was starting 4. So you can play this with your 4-year-old, no worries. I would say that the next game is one of the favorites. I mean, like all of those. And it's a game that has been played a lot. I find it pretty boring, but the kids love it. And this is actually the game that I mentioned in the beginning, that my youngest, she plays it, she understood it immediately. I was like, my mouth was, she's 2 years old, almost 3, and it's a domino game, okay, and they need to match the color of each side in order to be able to have an egg. We are talking about Drago Mino. She understood it and she won. She played against me and my oldest, and she won. I was shocked. How is it possible? And I thought, it's luck. It's not possible. I was wrong. She understood the game. So, it has patterns, so they will be able to work on that. Probably she saw that, okay, I have to put 2 yellows together, and she did. And she was very focused. It's one of the times that I could say my daughter was quiet, not moving, and focused on something, which she never is. Dragon Mini, I totally recommend. This is recommended from 5+. She's 2.5, almost 3. 15 minutes, very good one. And finally, some of you might make fun. It's not at all one of my favorite games of all time, but it is, you'll see for the box, it is a game that they play a lot in the most diverse ways. And funny enough, they still didn't lose any piece. I don't know how this is possible. This is a box that has been stepped on. They have played with these things like with their toys. The youngest one, she just likes to take everything out and play with the miniatures. We are talking about my first Ticket to Ride. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything particular against Ticket to Ride. It's fine, but yeah, they love it in their own different way of playing the game. This game somehow is a lot of times on the table when they are going to play a game, and yeah, I don't understand. But the oldest one, she already starts to look at the cars, look the cars that tells you the path, and she already focused more on that. So that's an improvement. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say about Ticket to Ride. You're building trains on tracks. This is the number one because they played the hell out of it. As you can see, the box is already completely damaged. And yeah, it is what it is. I'll teach them better. So that was it, guys. This was 10 games that you will easily find. I don't think you'll have any problem to find any of these games. Maybe Flamme Rouge might not be in stock at the moment, but it's something that you can find easily in second hand. But the rest, yeah, you'll find any of these. Any store will have these games. It's not complicated at all. So visit your local store, give them support. They will have this for sure. With that, I also want to mention that there's currently, I think I will be able to publish this video before that, there's currently 2 giveaways on my Instagram page, so don't forget to go there and participate. You might win 2 games, and it's worldwide. So yeah, go try it. There's nothing, you have nothing to lose, and like that, it's my way of giving back to the community. And yeah, I wish you guys, there will be later videos about other lists for Christmas as well, but I want to wish you already a very nice Sinterklaas for the people that celebrate Sinterklaas, and a very nice Christmas for others that will not see my other videos. So that's it. See you in the next one.